Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the next episode of World of Tanks tutorial. Today I was thinking we could talk about where to go, and by that I mean which tanks to research as a beginner. Uh, you probably already noticed that you have not many resources, you don't have many garage slots, you don't have much money, and maybe you don't have much time. And you wouldn't like to get stuck with tanks that you don't like, that are difficult to play, and might not bring you much fun. And there are plenty of tanks to choose from, plenty of lines. So I guess what you would like to know is which way to go, uh, what approach to take while choosing the next tank to research or choosing your first tank to research. Because the first few tiers, you probably noticed that it doesn't cost you much to to move forward. The research is gonna be 1400 experience points, maybe more, 1200, 1500, but that's the average on the tier 3. Tier 2 even less. Uh, and then tier 4, 5 and so on, it's gonna be more, it's gonna be more time consuming, more effort consuming. The games will get more and more difficult because the players will be more and more skilled. What I was thinking would be a nice thing to do maybe is to go through all the research trees, all the nations, and talk a little bit about them. See what are the best ways to go and what tanks are fun to play. When I started playing World of Tanks, I had no idea what to do and where to go. I um, I research all of the trees are more or less at the same time. I followed almost all paths on all nations. So I think I have a pretty good idea what to avoid and where to go. As you probably noticed here on your left side, you have several nations, 7 of them, and each nation has one path to take or several paths to take. To take. And there are also some interconnections between the paths. So there are, for example, several ways of getting to E3 Tier 10 American tank destroyer. You can go either by the T2 medium and then M4 A3 Easy 8, or you can simply go T3 and just go straight forward. Um, that's the first thing to look at when you choose the path. I would recommend taking path that has as many side branches as possible, so you don't get stuck on one line. The Germans are very well interconnected, but for example, if you take for example this Panzerjäger 1, this German tank destroyer that I just got, because I think this is a good way to go for a beginner. Why? Because you can get to the Marder 2, and then you can research three branches basically. You can get either the artillery and go to grill. You can take the Marder 38T and get one line of TDs, tank destroyers, and then you can get Hetzer and get another line of tank destroyers, well, which can be also accessed from Marder. So we are coming in this tree. We are coming to the first tank I would recommend to play and to research and to have a look at is the Hetzer. Hetzer, because of the 10.5 centimeter Sturmhaubitze, is able to one-shot most of the, if not all, tanks equal tier, and do a lot of damage for higher tiers. Um, It's one of the tanks I kept in my garage because it's extremely fun to play, and I come back to it from time to time. So yeah, Panzerjäger one line, very nice because of the branching into basically 3 lines later on, 1 artillery and 2 TD's branches. The Ramadan Bolzik, extremely good tank destroyer. It's very stealthy, very good gun. 2 guns as a matter of fact. That are worth trying out. And the end of the line is the Waffenträger of E100, the dreaded and feared Autolorder. The other line ends up with Jagdpanzer E100, also very nice heavy armored tank destroyer that is capable of stripping most of the HP from hit points from quite a few vehicles. And next line, I would recommend, for example, the Panzer II. Here you have branching into this line that can get you to Tiger P. Second line that will get you to Tiger 1, or you can follow the medium line. Here you can also get to the Panther from this branching VK. German mediums, I enjoyed VK and Panther. They are quite nice. Panther 2, it's so-so. Comparing to Russian mediums or even American, I would say the Panthers, the German mediums, are not that good, apart from the last 2, maybe 50 E50M. But this line will give you access to extremely good German line of heavy tanks, and by those I mean Tiger 2, E75 and E100. Even Tiger 1 is very interesting, but it requires some skill because the armor is not as thick as on the legendary real Tiger. I would recommend from these, research all of them, but from these, from Panzer 3A, go actually DW2, which is quite well armored, not very fast, and the gun is not very well, but it's well armored, and then follow the VK line into the Tiger and Tiger 2. The rest are mediums. It can be quite tricky to play them as a beginner. The 3, 4, and this line, they have very poor armor. The gun is not so good. You really have to have some experience to be able to play the German 7.5 centimeter gun. Its main characteristic is that it fires quickly, but it deals low damage. So basically, basically you have to shoot a lot to be able to get a lot of damage done in a match. It's similar with these mediums. The Tiger has a very good 88mm gun. It's the same on Tiger P. Generally, if you follow both of those lines, lots of components are interchangeable, including guns on VK45 and Tiger 2, and the same for VK45 and E75. The guns are similar, if not the same. It's 10.5 L68 and Top Gun is 12.8 L55. And well, actually, what you can do, you can right click and check where the gun is used. So you see it's Tiger 2, VK45 and E75. This one is used on mouse VK4502, E100, E75. So you see, following one line will give you the benefit, and not all, following one line and researching all the components for a given tank, even though you're not planning to use them, will give you the benefit not having to research those same components on another tank. So for example, if you research this radio station early as for example, on a Hummel or Panzer Kampfwagen 3, this radio station will be researched on all of the vehicles in the German tree if they are using it. That's why it's one of the reasons why it takes me so much time to get to a tier 10. It is because I research every component in every tank, even though it's not, maybe you don't have to do it, but I like to have them researched because they might be used on another tanks. Like yeah, we have an engine on Marder 2 that's used on Vespa, Luchs, Marder 2, and 4B, another German tank destroyer. So I would say that's a good practice to do so, to research every component. Recapping, German line, Marder 2, those you cover all those TDs and artillery. 3A, you cover main line of the heavies, both of them. If you want, you can go mediums, not recommended for a beginner. Panzer 1C, a very good tank, light tank, a bit difficult to play for a beginner, but yeah, you're welcome to try it, but don't push maybe too far behind more than Lux, because Lux gets scout matchmaking. That means it can meet +3 tanks, and in his case it will be tier 7s. So you don't want to meet tier 7 heavy tank without knowing what to do with it. Next line will be the Russian. If we look how the branches come together and then separate, you can immediately that the T-34 is the central point for several of the branches, for 4 of them actually. For the tank destroyer line, one medium line, second light medium line, and then a third medium line, which you can use to get to the heavy line. So getting to the T-34, it's a very good thing to do. You can go there from multiple directions. You can take the path I took here from T26, T46, T50. This gives you also an advantage of getting the excellent Russian heavy line. This is actually the path I would recommend you to go first. KV-1, it's a very good tier 5 Russian heavy, very well armored, with very good 85mm gun. This I would recommend to research and use it. Learn how to angle your tank. What's angling, I'm gonna talk about more maybe in the next episode. And the second path to take is the way to T-34 and some very well armored, excellent mediums. These tanks are especially those 3-4 at the back here, T-54 objects and T-62A. These are considered one of the best tanks in the game for tier 9 T-54 and for tier 10 those 3. So yeah, but for a beginner, KV-1 I would go KV-1S and then go to IS, or even more armored tanks, T-50, KV-3. Yeah, if you master those, you will be able to do very well with heavy tanks. This line here gives you also opportunity of getting the KV-2. This is a derp gun. This uses the 152mm howitzer. Howitzers are characterized by a very long reload time, very long aim time, very slow shell speed, but the damage, as you can see, it's for a tier 6, it's extremely good. Even with the high explosive round, very low penetration, but still 910 damage. If you pen. If you don't pen, you will get lower damage, but still. So, Russian line. T-34 key point, KV-1 another key point. To get one heavy line, second heavy line, and artillery line. So I would recommend starting from T-26 and going those two lines. T-34 and the T-28 and KV-1. American line. American line is a bit complicated for a beginner. It has a very good RT that doesn't aim very well, but gives a lot of damage. Then you have two light slash medium lines. Basically, they're all lights up to even tier 8 or tier 7 in the second case. Then you have two tank destroyer lines and mediums slash heavies. I would recommend going the heavy line for Americans because it's very good all-round tanks. Apart from the only pain in the lower back will be the M3 Lee, which has no turret and is very big target. But after that you get two excellent tanks, the M4 and the T1 Heavy. And from that on, it gets only better. The M6 has excellent guns, quite good mobility. T29 and T32, they are played very similarly, hold down positions, very strong turret, very good guns. If we go up, we have EZ8 or E2, two versions of M4 which are slightly less armored or slightly more armored medium tanks with good guns, 76mm guns. Or the what can be also used is the 105 howitzer, which is already available on tier 5 M4, which can be compared, I guess, to the KV-1 as a little bit less damage, but mounted on a more mobile, a little bit better armored tank. Sorry. Yeah. So this line, I would strongly recommend going American heavy line. For scouts and lights, you can try, but these tanks, T-37 Chaffee, they are very good, but using a scout is difficult and it can be frustrating. So yeah, so be careful with those. Tank destroyers, they have quite a good lines of tank destroyers. One is completely turretless. These will start at T25, T28 and T95. Those tanks, the last ones, at least the tier 8, tier 9, they're very slow. They're basically mobile bunkers, very good armor, but very low mobility. Similar to T28, it has the second line. It's they have turrets, but T28, T30, they're a bit slow, not as mobile. T25 too, it's very good. I like it. I would recommend getting 67 and Hellcat. These are extremely fun to play. Those two tanks. Hellcat has had to be nerfed some time ago because it was too mobile. It has extremely good 90mm gun that I recommend you use. You probably noticed that. And the T67 has extremely good camouflage and extremely good guns, also quick firing with very good pen guns. Yeah, so RT if you want to play, but strongly recommend heavy line, and the mediums are very nice if you want to practice with them, and the tank destroyers. I would recommend going T67 and Hellcat and see if that's something you like. French line. French line has also all the choices you can have. They have tank destroyers. They have heavy tank line, which starts with two light tanks and then is merged into ARL-44. They have another light scouts. I would say scout line because it is. Up to tier 8 it's scout autoloaders, and after that you have tier 9 and tier 10, which is the legendary Batchat 25T autoloaders, Lorraine also, and they have artillery line. The French tanks are unique in a way that they're heavy tanks, high-tier heavy tanks, and high-tier mediums and light tanks. They have auto-loading system, so they have quite a long reload, and after that it can fire up to six shots depending on the gun and the tank, in very short intervals, and then we'll have to reload again for 40, 30 or 20 seconds depending on the tank and the gun. But even if you look at the light tanks here up to tier 5, it's a mix. These two is going to be slow, then it's going to be really slow, the AMX-40, also known as the DAC. It's reasonably good, it has reasonably good armor, but it's painfully slow. The gun is not very good and you will struggle. But after that you will get very fast tank. This is a very fast and fun tank to play. And after that you will get autoloaders. I would recommend going this line, but to learn how to drive fast tanks for the AMX ELC. But it will be extremely painful for you to go through those, at least especially AMX-40. I would recommend getting as much free experience as possible and getting just over it. This tank is no fun to play. The French heavy line, it starts at tier 4, so quite early. Reasonably good armor, poor gun. It changes at the BDR. It gets very nice 90mm gun. As the gun improves, the armor is getting worse and worse. ARL 44, it has very poor sight armor, and AMX M4 even worse. So these tanks will not be the typical heavy tanks. They're gonna play a bit differently, but they have very good guns and staying behind other tanks will give you a very good results. But yeah, I would recommend going the French heavy line to see to at least to experience the BDR, which is very nice to play in ARL. Those two are very good. And if you feel ready, you can just go forward with the other autoloaders. French RT is quite good, but its main characteristic is high reload time, low damage. So quite nice reload for example for AMX-13 F3. It's just 24 seconds for a tier 6. It's not bad. And then you don't have to go from you don't have to take the first artillery line. You can just do it at the 12T. And which path to take for the heavies, it's up to you. I would recommend the BDR, the first line. British. I can't say I love British lines a lot. I went with the medium line, I went to Comet. All of those tanks characterizes high DPM, low alpha damage. So they can shoot quite often, but they do very little damage per shot. So it requires skill to be able to play them. The British tank destroy line up to Alecto, they're pretty fast, pretty quick, with good guns. After that, they're painfully slow, well armored, but you can get 82. 82 is fun to play because it has ridiculous armor for a tier 5 tank, and you will bounce a lot of shots. But after that, the players will be skilled more and more, and they will know your weak points, and they will know where to shoot. So using a big slow tank, it's not going to be very fun. I managed to get to 88, I think, and yeah, I just grind slowly and move forward. It's similar with the British heavy line. I would recommend getting the Matilda, so this line up to Matilda. It's very well armored, not so fast tank, but very good gun, and it's fun to play. The Churchers also reasonably good armor, but very slow. The gun is same as the medium line, similar in damage and rate of fire. You can get from the heavy line through the Churchill gun carrier to tank destroyer line, but this tank is not very good. It has good guns, but it's painfully slow, and it's easy to pen because of the structure on the top, which is basically flat on all sides. Recently added medium/tank destroyer line. Gives some interesting features like the Archer that drives backwards, the British version of M3 Lee, that's M3 Grand, then the Sherman and a British version of Sherman and Firefly. That's the M4 with 17-pounder gun. Artillery, very nice. EV304 is very mobile, very nice arc for artillery, high rate of fire, low penetration, low damage. This changes later on, and in the end you get Conqueror GC gun carrier that can one shot plenty of tanks, 2200 damage, very large blast radius, but very long reload time. So yeah, I enjoy FV, and if you want to play artillery, I recommend both the Bishop and the Birch are very nice too. So they are nice, fun tanks to play. Chinese lines are said to be basically a copy of the Russian, and which are a little bit worse. And basically this is true. If you look at the tanks, T-34 is copy, 58 is copy also. Slight modifications. You can see the T-34, T-34-2. IS-2 sounds familiar also. If you want, you can spend some time. This is the last one of the last trees I started to research. I do enjoy the light tanks. The 5916 has an excellent auto-loading gun, 76 millimeter, and all the other tanks are very nice too, up to 121. But you have to think if you really want to go to those two or 5916. I would recommend actually going the light line. And then you have a heavy line, which is the first two are copies basically. There's IS-3 with some modifications. It actually has exactly the same gun. Stats wise, 175 penetration, 390 alpha as the IS-3. And then you get WZ, which is pretty good, and 113 that is also very good. A nice 1.2 cam. It's the last tanks, the tier 10 tanks are usually pretty well balanced, so getting to those will not disappoint you. It will just take a lot of time, and the way you'll take, the path you'll take might be more or less enjoyable. Japanese. The Japanese tanks, they have two lines to offer basically: the medium line that ends with STB1, and the heavy line that ends with Type 5 Heavy. STB has excellent damage per minute output, quite nice alpha damage, and quite good, extremely good reload time. The medium lines can be difficult to play. I remember I got stuck at Cheeto for quite a while. You require 52,000 experience to get to the next one, and Japanese tanks, you really have to have some experience with mediums because they have very bad armor. The gun is similar to the British one, low alpha damage, and not so good reload time actually. So this can be a bit disappointing. But I would recommend going the heavy line, because the heavy line is extremely fun to play. If it won't get nerfed, because the OI experimental and the OI, if they are top tier, so tier 5 or tier 6 match respectively, they are excellent tanks, and they really will bring you lots of fun. So these are the tanks I would recommend you getting. Uh, the next ones, they are similar in type. They're big, bulky, heavy, similar guns, and lots of armor and lots of hit points. But before you go forward, I check those two. They're really fun to play. And the last line, Czechoslovakia. They have just one line. It's all medium and lights. I don't know what to say. If you feel that you want to try medium lines, I recommend it. It's very interesting, especially the Skoda T25. It has an auto-loading system. It's very nice. I really like it. We'll see what happens. Crap, I always press the wrong button. We'll see what happens after that. It is said that the TVP T5051 with autoloader, is better than Batchat. So I'm looking forward to that. We're gonna take a while probably for me to get it, but I will get it eventually. Skoda T50, it has also an auto-loading system. I think, yes, this gun, 100mm. The rest is standard gun, a mixture of Russian and German armor and guns. Yeah, so they don't have very good armor, and you have to be careful. They're quite mobile, and the gun is the gun is okay if you get the crew trained to 100%. Because, for example, I got the Skoda T24, and basically I hated it. I couldn't do anything with it. That was mainly because of the crew. The reload time I had over 6 seconds. The aim time was over 3 seconds because of my bad crew. And it was very difficult to play. You have to spend some time and pain, or get good crew, invest money or gold into it if you want, and put some nice good equipment on it, and then it's gonna be very good tank to play. Yeah, so we went through the tanks, through all the trees. I hope you got some tips which way to go. Not sure what's the next topic be. Probably it's gonna be a technical one. I would like to talk about ammunition, because if you go a little bit higher, it is in tiers. It is good to know what kind of ammunition you have, and after tier 3, tier 4, you can start meeting very well armored opponents, and it's useful to know what kind of ammunition you have to load in order to penetrate their armor. So thank you for watching, and see you around.